Hello seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Saturn will go retrograde from the sign of Capricorn. Saturn will start its retrogression when it is around 7 degrees in Capricorn, and it will start moving backward. Saturn will make its move for retrogression on 11th of May. So right now Saturn is kind of stationary. So stationary Saturn has its own significance. So now Saturn will slowly, very slowly move towards retrogression, start its retrogression on 11th of May and continue the retrogression till 28th of September. So it's a long retrogression. However, I often get some comments and some feedback that these bigger planets like Jupiter and Saturn happens to be retrograde every year. That is true. This is not an unusual or a very drastic or something dramatic movement, but what happens is that the combination of the planet that is formed during the retrogression makes it interesting, makes it worth analyzing. Now we all know that Saturn retrogression or any movement of Saturn cannot be avoided. So let us discuss in detail about this particular unique retrogression which is clubbed with Jupiter and Venus retrogression. And so watch this video till the end so that you get to know more details about this particular retrogression, and do not forget to hit like, subscribe and share and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update. Saturn, Shani, the slow planet, the planet that enforces law, the planet that defines law, the karma phaladata Shani. That Saturn is going Vakri, retrograde. The unusual movement, the deviated movement of Shani. In this scenario of the world, the retrogression will play a very vital role in defining the responsibility, the karma of every individual in this planet. The entire retrogression is happening in the Uttarashadha Nakshatra. That means whether we have won the war or not, we have to reassess. We have to rework on a lot of factors. We have to analyze every movement of our life. We have to analyze every single action and karma that we take to understand its repercussions that will come after the retrogression ends. This is absolutely not the right time to start something new. This is also something that I've said in the Jupiter retrogression video. Saturn retrogression is nothing different but far more important. Obviously, Saturn will not cross Capricorn boundary and go to Sagittarius, but it will go till 1 degree of Capricorn and then again start moving forward. But Saturn, being the ruler of the natural 10th and 11th house and being with Jupiter and Mars is playing a very vital role in defining the entire scene and scenarios that is going to happen in the world and in our life. When Saturn is retrograding, you have to understand that the natural 10th lord retrogrades. That means the retrogression is the inner reflection. So now Saturn will make you rethink about all the decisions, all the karma that you have taken in your life from past 1 year. Saturn made its move in the sign of Capricorn on 24th of January this year. And we know what is happening. Jupiter is also with Ketu. And now Jupiter is in Capricorn, will go retrograde just 3 days after Saturn retrogression. So this retrogression will have a greater impact in a way that not only Jupiter is giving the wisdom to understand what is wrong and what is that you are supposed to quit in the life, to let go. Shani is saying, now act on it. So if Jupiter is giving you the knowledge and wisdom, Saturn is asking you to work towards it. Saturn is asking you to break through. Because if Saturn shows confinement and boundary, retrograde Saturn means either the confinement increases or it breaks down. But more because it shows deviated behavior, the indication is more towards changing the life pattern, changing the approach, changing the karma and changing the way things work for you, or you have a certain kind of approach towards situations in your life. The retrogression of Saturn is more about karmic reflection, inner reflection. So reassessment and re-evaluation of your karma, your decisions, major decisions has to be done. So while Jupiter is giving you the wisdom and the potential to do, Saturn is giving you the playground to do. and Saturn will make you do. That is the only thing. Saturn retrogression is going to be heavy. It is going to make you act, it is going to force you towards walking that particular path of reform. So reform is the key word for the Saturn retrogression. This also means that this Saturn, Shani, is going to take us more towards the fundamentals, and it will tell that being close to nature, being in harmony, going minimalistic, going orthodox is going to be the key here. Now, this will definitely impact different people in a different way, but one certain impact that this Saturn retrograde will have is on the sign of Cancer. Now, why this is going to impact is because Saturn 7th aspect will be on the sign of Cancer. Saturn's aspect will 7th aspect is going to drag the zodiac of Cancer along with its own retrogression, and it is going to really, it's like scratching the surface, and these are the lucky coupons that we have to scratch to find out the gift. That is what is going to happen with the Cancer sign. So you have to find out where your Cancer sign is. Is there any planet between 0 degree and 7 degrees of in the Cancer zodiac? What is going on in the Cancer zodiac more than the Capricorn zodiac? Now that scrubbing effect is going to cleanse you. Now this is also cleansing and detoxifying transit. This also means that you have to face your worst fear, you have to face your worst enemy, you have to actually take a lot of compromises, a lot of adjustment is needed, a lot of struggle is going to be there. Now this is nothing to be scared about, but this is something to be aware about what you are going through. If you are under a Sadhesati, especially if you are an Aquarius or Capricorn or Sagittarius moon sign, this is going to have more psychological impact than the physical impact. You will be thinking a lot more than usual. You will have out of the box thinking, and you would want to break free from whatever clutches you are in. So assessment of karma will happen through Jupiter, whereas the execution of the same assessment will happen through Shani. In this scenario, there is one more impactful planet that is going retrograde, which is Venus. Now, why it is important? This is important because Venus is in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is 5th from Capricorn. So Venus is going to change the way Shani act on people, because 5th from Shani shows productivity of whatever Saturn is going to do. Things will suddenly slow down to a very irritating point, or suddenly the thing will become so fast that it will be very difficult to judge the next step. That's how the double deviation is working in this case. So you have to be very careful, you have to be very alert. Shani defines our approach towards being a good citizen. So are you a good citizen? So a lot of questions will be raised on your actions. So you have to be very careful on your career front also, because Capricorn is the natural 10th house, the house of career. So career is going to take an impact, which we all know why. But those who have a weak Capricorn in their horoscope, or some malefic planets are sitting or making Capricorn zodiac or that particular house malefic, will face maximum brunt of the Saturn retrogression. Saturn retrogression is like scrubbing the surface, scratching it. So there will be a lot of friction involved. 10th house is also the house of ego for the Kalpurush, and rank and establishment. So you will see a lot of rank, establishment will come under a lot of conflict. There will be a lot of struggle, identity crisis will come. On top of that, Saturn's 3rd aspect is on Pisces. Now, why aspect is more important? We all know that Shani's aspect is far more greater than the Shani placement, Saturn's placement, especially the 3rd aspect of Saturn. Now, the 3rd aspect is on Pisces. So if you have a Pisces ascendant or a Pisces moon sign, then a change of expectation will happen to you. Then you are completely going to transform as a human being. So this kind of reform is going to be implemented in each one of our life. And Cancer zodiac is a specific zodiac where you have to observe. This kind of placement is a kind of a placement where magic happens. Now, I'm not saying that the magic will happen for the good, it may happen for the bad, but the end result is going to be very, very constructive for you. You will see that you are forcefully throwing away and letting go of the things if you are not doing it willingly. So, you have to immediately chalk out a plan, observe what is necessary and what is unnecessary. Going minimalistic, having the basic lifestyle is going to be the key here. Which also means that there will be some dearth of things in the society. It won't be easy to live the way we used to live. It is going to reset the clock. Shani is also Kal, time. So this, when Saturn goes retrograde, it means we are going backward in time. So things are also going to reset itself. Economy, our lifestyle, the way we execute our tasks, the way we live our life, everything is going to go slightly backward, slightly controlled and confined. Now let us go ascendant by ascendant and try to analyze in a very brief, in a sentence or two, what this retrogression means for you. For the Aries ascendant people, your 10th house shows Saturn retrogression. That means your career and your source of income is going to come under the biggest impact. So you have to be very careful from that part. Save as much money as you can. Unnecessary expense may come suddenly out of nowhere, especially medical expense. So be careful on that part. Also, your wishes and expectations will be redefined. So it is the right time that you list down what you want from life, and also you need to take an assessment about your own karma, that what are you going to do about fulfillment of your expectations. So be very, very careful. And this also means that you may have to put some plans on hold, especially buying a property or buying a car or going out or changing your home, changing your location. So you have to rethink about that. Coming to Taurus ascendant. For the Taurus ascendant, your 9th and your 10th lord is going to get affected, and your retrogression is happening on the 9th house. Not only that, for you, your ascendant lord is also going to go retrograde. So this means a very simple thing. Things are going to be restrictive for you. Belief system is going to change. So you will be questioned. Things will be slightly uncomfortable, and your courage will be questioned. Your capabilities will be questioned. So you need to be very careful and be as much productive as you can. No laziness, no procrastination. Be very proactive in your approach, and don't be the someone who delays the thing unnecessarily. So be very proactive, because this is also going to impact your career, and any kind of travel that you make during this 4-5 months period, be very careful, because your ascendant lord is also not in a good shape till July. You will be under kind of impact from the scenario that is happening in the world. So try to be safe, try to be healthy. Third zodiac is Gemini. In case of Gemini, if you see your 8th house is going retrogression, so in a way things are really going to be surprised, unearth of the surprise. That means a lot of surprises will come. The Pandora's box will open. The 8th house retrogression. But this is going to be very spiritual, very occult, very supernatural, and to some it's going to be difficult also. So expect a lot of surprises, expect a lot of unwanted things happening in your life. Nothing negative or too extreme, but you need to be careful about this. You may have to break few investments that you have done unexpectedly, or you don't want to break it, but because of certain scenarios, you may have to break it. So be very careful on that. Save as much as you can, because this Shani is directly going to aspect the zodiac of Cancer. So financially it is not going to be that great. You may have to refine your financial plans, and you have to redefine your investments. And this is the good time actually to go back to the drawing board and assess how you can invest your money. And especially if you are a spiritual person, this is the best time to do some siddhi, some sadhana, because 8th house is cracking open. So if you are a Gemini moon sign and Gemini ascendant, this is going to be very, very intense transit for you. Now coming to the Cancer zodiac, you are again one of the most impacted zodiac, because in your 7th house Shani is retrograding and 8th lord goes into the 7th house. So basically what is going to happen is you will come across a lot of people who will criticize you. who will question your approach, who will change your personality. So a lot of influence will come, and you would definitely want to become somebody else because your identity is being scrapped. So the top layers of your personality is going to be scraped off, and your inner naked soul will be visible to the world. So you are kind of vulnerable. So emotionally you should be very poised, very controlled, and you need to work towards your personality so that you don't come under the fire of unnecessary and bad people who will only try to take advantage. So trust and faith is going to be the issue here. So try not to have unnecessary belief on somebody, but just apply your brain and apply your consciousness and believe in yourself, because the self-belief and identity is going to be questioned in this case. Next is Leo. In case of Leo, your retrogression is happening on the 6th house. Now this is the prarabdha karma. So I would say the best impact is going to be for the Leo, because your prarabdha karma is going to unfold and disputes are going to come in your life. Some loans that had been stacked up from the past, now I'm talking about the karmic loans, now you have to repay. So this is the best time for you to actually accelerate your prarabdha karma repayment. Try to find out what prarabdha karma you have in your horoscope and try to follow that dharma. Try to clear the clog, clear that prarabdha karma as quickly as possible, because this retrogression is actually unusual. So unusual remedies, not the usual ones, are going to be somewhat lifesaver for you. And but one thing you have to be very sure, you will be questioned as the king because you are Leo, but the 6th house and 7th house are turning back. So people will turn their face and move out. Don't worry if you're losing some people. This is the time what you can say of grand filter. People will filter from your life and you will only get people who deserve you. The next zodiac is Virgo. Now in case of Virgo zodiac, what is going to happen? Saturn retrogression will happen on the 5th house. So first of all, it is going to impact your productivity, creativeness, expression. So you will become lethargic, or suddenly you will become very active, something on the extreme. In this case, you may reap good results. So it will work positive for you. Why? Because this is the house of Purva Punya, and also in a way a house connected to the past life. So you will reap the positive benefits. So suddenly a lot of positive things will start happening with you. A lot of good things will start happening with you. So you have to be like, in a position where you are actually doing the best Kriyaman karma possible. So this is the right time to do a lot of charity, take the blessings of a guru, go to a gurudwara or go to your guru's feet, try to take the blessings of your guru, and it may be a teacher, it may be a friend who always helped you. Anybody, you try to help them, you try to be with them, you try to show the gratitude to the universe if you don't have a person as a guru. This is going to give you lot more positive result, but it will give you some concern towards your children. Now with children, what I mean is, even if you have a firm or a company, or you play guitar, but you treat it as if you nurture it as your own child, that is going to get impacted. So it does not mean that you need a physical children, but anything that you look as a child will be impacted during this transit. And this also shows that you will want to go to your passion to earn money. Just hold your gears, take a good look, be practical, and do a transition. A sudden change will be bad for you. Now the next zodiac is going to be Libra. In case of Libra zodiac, which is also the sign of exaltation of Saturn, the retrogression is going to happen on the 4th house. Now because the retrogression is going to happen on the 4th house, your happiness is going to be questioned. You will be uncomfortable. You will suddenly want to be more happy because you will feel unhappy. But this is the time when retrogression happens. This is the time when you give happiness. See, 4th house is when you can become happy. If you get retrograde planet there, or the planet, the 4th lord goes retrograde, that means you give happiness. So if you give happiness, Saturn's 10th aspect falls on your 1st house. You give happiness, Shani will work towards your growth, towards your success, towards destroying the enemies, because the 3rd aspect happens to be in the 6th house. Again, for you, working from home will be quite frustrating because 7th aspect will be on the 10th house. So in this entire duration, I will give a tip at the end. So in this entire duration, you have to work very closely with your supervisors. You have to work as a team and try not to work on a single as a single person, as a single resource. Anyways, even if there is a problem that you're facing in your career, you need to be very optimistic and you have to take proactive actions. Now, that proactive action can be anything depending on the situation you are in, either being in the company, changing the company, looking for the growth, or compromising, trying to go back a bit just to stabilize the situation. But don't do any foolish thing just for the sake of happiness, because your happiness will be within and by making others happy. So bring a smile on somebody's face. The next zodiac is going to be Scorpio. Now, in case of Scorpio, now this is interesting. Saturn is going to be in the 3rd house, retrograde. 3rd lord goes Vakri, whereas your 2nd house also goes Vakri. So for you, it is more about material achievement. For you, it's a question of pride. For you, it's a question whether you can do or not. And it's going to be all about your gains. Because you will be asked to give forcefully. You will be asked to do things for others, which you will not want to do. So now the question comes in your mind, what am I doing for myself? Am I growing enough? What am I doing for my happiness? So till Mars is in the sign of Aquarius, while Saturn is retrograding, it will make you think a lot about your own happiness, your own comfort, while you are doing things for others. But I will definitely say that this is the right time to assess your approach towards finances, assess the approach towards how you express yourself, and especially if you have moon on ascendant, then it is definitely going to be a tough time for you, because both mentally and physically, your efforts are going to be blocked. That's the Stambhan of Shani. It stops, it creates a pillar, a block, and it makes you suffer, or it creates a sense of struggle in the mind. So the sense of struggle will come. The moment that struggle comes, immediately go back to the drawing board and see what's wrong. Because something is wrong, that is why it is getting stopped, not because you are doing, it is blocking you unnecessarily. Nothing blocks you unnecessarily. So for you Scorpio ascendant, you must see where your moon sign is. According to that, your Saturn is going to give you the result. It will be more impacting on the psychological side. Now comes the Sagittarius ascendant. Now this is very, very, very crucial for you. For Sagittarius, your ascendant lord is already going to go retrograde on 14th of May. 2nd lord and 3rd lord goes retrograde on the 2nd house itself, which Saturn watches the 8th house as well as your 11th house. So it's all and the 4th house. So see, your ascendant, 2nd house gains, 4th house happiness, 8th house investment especially of the time, and 11th house your expectations. All these are going to go under a reform. That means you as a human being will change in this 5 months, and the change will be big. The change will be a huge shift in your thought process. The change will be something which cannot happen in other transit. Now, irrespective of your dasha, mahadasha, whether you are in Saraswati, whether you have a Shani mahadasha, irrespective of that, obviously it will change the amplitude, but the reform will come in your life. Reform is inevitable. This means you will lose a lot of things, you will gain a lot of things, you have to let go a lot of things, you have to change the way you dress, you will change the way you look, you will change the way you eat, you will change the way you talk. If you are spiritual, it will intensify the spiritual growth. If you're non-spiritual, it will make you understand the worth of every single rupee, every single penny. 2nd house is the investment, 8th house is investment, 2nd house is gains, and 11th house is the source of income. So those areas are going to get impacted, and this means financially it's not going to be the great time for you. But if you follow the dharma of Shani, now this is something which is interesting. If you follow the dharma of what is written in your horoscope, it will suddenly make all struggles, all negativity vanish. Because you are following Saturn unusually becomes extremely favorable for you. Because Jupiter is gaining the strength, because your ascendant lord was debilitated, is debilitated in fact, is actually going back. Although it will join Ketu, but ascendant lord will come on ascendant. So it's going to be very good time for you. Now for the Capricorn ascendant people, Capricorn is on the first house of the retrogression. So again, very, very clearly, you will have a great impact coming from a long distance. Now it can be a phone call, it can be a video call, it can be a travel. So something is definitely going to happen connected with foreign or long distance or subconscious mind. Now your 12th lord is also retrograde and your first lord is retrograde. While Jupiter, which is the 12th lord, is on the first house and going back to the 12th house, which shows something has to be let go, released. Something has to be consciously removed from the life. What, how, where, that will be decided by your horoscope and the placements, but this is going to be the theme for you. Obviously, you are one of the most impacted zodiacs in this entire frame. You have to be very, very careful about your health. You have to be very, very careful about long distance travel. You have to be very, very careful about how you are implementing and how you are expressing yourself. Because third house is also retrograde in the 12th house. Now Saturn here in this case is going to impact marriage and any kind of business contracts, because 7th house will find Cancer zodiac. Re-establishment of a lot of things will happen, restructure will happen, discipline has to be followed. You will see that you may face weight loss, you may face illness, you may face sickness, because Saturn retrogression is going to churn the ascendant like anything. So physically, health-wise, it's not good for you. So for you, it may be a kind of a setback or a negative transit. You just need to calm down and let this time pass. Obviously, your horoscope will decide to what extent, whether it may buffer completely. That's totally on your horoscope, but the theme is going to be a difficult, constructive, but that result will come next year, not this year. So this year will become difficult. You need to be very, very optimistic and understand the learning of the Shani. If you understand the learning of the Shani, this will be a very smooth classroom session. And once the classroom is over and you pass the exam, you get promoted. Then comes Aquarius ascendant. Now in case of Aquarius ascendant, what is going to happen? That your 12th lord goes retrograde and your 11th lord goes retrograde. Now this is a loss and gain scenario. You have to weigh what you lose and what you gain, what you lose and what you gain. Profit, loss, profit, loss. This also means this is the right time to ascertain how much you have given to the society, how much money you want to donate, how much help you have, how many people you have helped in your life. What is the good karma? Because in your case, you are already the 11th house. Now, a lot of people say that 11th house is the house of gains. I agree, but that gain will only come if you give. And that is where the subconscious mind changes. So you may feel a lack of sleep, you may face some energy constipation, physically constipated and energy constipated. Plus you may feel drained. So either the negative energy will block you, or suddenly there will be a lot of loss of energy, because of which you will be drained and you will always feel lethargic, sleepy throughout the day, cranky, irritated. You need to take care, you need to do yoga, you need to quit a lot of things that you always wanted from life. So again, expectation reform will happen in your case. Now comes to the Pisces ascendant, the last ascendant. In your case, the Saturn aspects your first house, goes into the 11th house, goes retrograde. 10th lord also goes retrograde. Assessment of karma, assessment of income, assessment of health, assessment of expectations, assessment of friends, assessment of home. All these kind of assessment will happen. These all areas will be reformed in your case, but the good thing about you is that your first lord will be in the 10th house. So you will be made to act and also given the result of that. If you are willfully doing it without the resistance, you need to go with the flow. if you go with the flow and you don't show ego, and you show gratitude, you show acceptance, you show flexibility, then you will see that all your wishes will be fulfilled in the best constructive way possible. And whenever, if something is not supposed to be given to you, your wish will automatically go away. Suddenly your mind will not focus there and you will shift your focus. So it's going to be a very good positive transformation for you. Just wait for it, go with the flow, and you will find the best of it. So guys, that was a brief analysis of the Saturn retrogradation for all ascendants. Do let me know if you like the video, and if you like, do not forget to hit like, subscribe and share, and hit the bell icon so that you never miss another update, and also comment your views in the comment box below. See you in the next video of Venus retrogradation. Namaste.